No organization is responsible for the content of this video. All errors and omissions are the sole responsibility of myself, David Iverson. This video must not be your only source of information. Please attend official USSA educational opportunities. Please download official USSA educational materials.
Hi, I'm Dave, and this is the very first video in my series on the very basics of timing an alpine ski race. This past season was my 17th year of timing races, and I have done a lot of seminars on timing and also attended a lot of seminars, and they're always really rushed, and people are always trying to get through too much in too short amount of time. So I figured by making a series of YouTube videos, you can watch at your own pace and learn at your own pace, and I can say a lot more than I could in a one-day seminar. So please hit pause often, take notes, and there's contact information at the end of every one of these videos. Okay, so what are we going to cover in our series on just the very basics of timing an alpine ski race for USSA or FIS? Well, right now I'm doing my introduction, and as soon as I'm done with this, we're going to do a new video. Our second video is going to be just an overview of all of the equipment that we're going to use, and then I'm going to break that out and we're going to look at the start equipment, we're going to look at the finish equipment, we're going to look inside the timing room at our timers and computers, then we're going to focus on hooking everything together, testing the signals are getting through all the way through the system. Then we're going to do some software basics, and then we're going to do some timing without any intervention, where we're just going to let the computer do its thing and we're just going to kind of watch. But of course we can't do that all the time. There's going to be things that we have to do to intervene during the running of the ski race. So then we're going to look at the most common interventions, such as did not start, did not finish, etc. Then we're going to look at hand timing, and then the last thing that we're going to do in our basic timing video series is filling out the timing report. Now keep in mind that I'm going to be doing an intermediate series 2, where we're going to go into a little bit more depth on some of these things and add in some more tips and tricks and look at some more detailed aspects of the software, etc. The goal of my basic timing videos is to just really give you the basics, give you a starting point. And so I don't really want to complicate things too much. I just want to give you the basics, and then we can go from there. So this is basic, later will be intermediate. Okay, so this is the second video in the basic timing series, and so I'm going to try to keep it basic, and the goal of this video is to give you an overview of what you need to do, of the equipment that you're going to need to time a ski race, and then I'm going to break out sort of each piece of this equipment into separate videos so you'll get a chance to focus in on them. So I just want to sort of give you an overview, starting at the top of the ski race is the start. And so, first thing that we have is we have our start box, and the start box goes into a wand, and then somehow you're going to have to mount that on some sort of a post. Okay. And then somehow you're going to have to take that, and you're going to have a cable that's going to hook it up to the wire that's going to run from, there's going to be a permanent wire that's going to go along the side of the trail in most situations. Okay, so that's the start. Start box, wand, post, and a cable to connect it up to the mount. Also at the start, you're going to need a way to talk with the people. And so you can have a radio. I actually don't have my radio on the table right here, but you can have a radio, but then also you can have hardwired is definitely the way to go. And you're going to have a little communication box, which is just a little amplifier. You're going to have a set of headphones, and again, you're going to hook that up into a cable running down the side of the mountain. Okay, so that's the start. We're doing basic here, so we're not going to do intermediates, but then at the finish, you're going to have finish eyes. So here's my finish eyes right in here. And I actually have two sets of finish eyes here. We're going to need two sets of finish eyes, and we'll get into all that in a second. So one set of finish eyes, second set of finish eyes. And what I have here is these are my through beams. So we'll talk about through beams in a second. And I have a little bracket that slips over a post, and then I can mount that on there. So for my through beam, I have two like this, and then I have two brackets to mount them on. Then looking at it a little bit differently, I have a reflector. So this is a reflector type, so I've got an eye, and then I've got a reflector, and so it's going to go like that. And then also just to show you how I have it, there's a different sort of connector here, that this is designed to go over a 2x2 post, and then this chain one is sort of more flexible. It can sort of go around a whole bunch of other things. So, one start box, two eyes, and again, the eyes, once again, I don't have all the posts, but once again, the eyes are going to mount on posts, and you're going to need 4 posts for the eyes. Alright, so then we're going to come into the timing shaft. In the timing shaft, we're going to have another set of communication here, so that we're going to be able to talk to the people outside. And the key thing in the timing shaft is kind of all this stuff is going to come in on various cables. That can be really confusing at first, but once you learn how to set the cables up, everything will be all set. And the cables are all going to come into your timers. Now, I should have said this earlier. If your equipment looks different from my equipment, don't worry about that. Because there's all kinds of different manufacturers and makes. I've got algae stuff, there's Tag Heuer stuff. Don't worry about specifically what it looks like. Just learn your own equipment. So we're going to have 2 timers. One timer, a second timer. And then those timers are going to go into computers. So I've got one laptop computer, second laptop computer, and then those computers are going to have a software protection device that's going to allow us to unlock the timing features of the software that we're buying to time ski races. And so each laptop has a software protection device. And then of course we have a whole miscellaneous amount of, we have power supplies and cables. We got USB 4-port hubs to give us more hubs so we can plug various pieces of equipment into. We've got Wi-Fi adapters because most of our timing shacks do not have the best Wi-Fi in the world. And so right now, and the last thing that we have is we have stopwatches that are going to go out with the hand timers, and they're going to provide us with our third timing system. So we're going to have 3 timing systems set up. We're going to have 2 electronic systems, 1 and 2, and we're going to have a third stopwatch-based manual hand timing system, which is going to be our third timing system. So there's a lot of equipment here, just giving you an overview. You should, over the course of your study, find all this equipment and learn how to use all this equipment, and we're going to break it down into a series of videos on each component. So don't freak out just yet.